So for today's topic, I will discuss to you what is systematic design model. So before I introduce you the definition of systematic design model, I would like to introduce to you who originated the systematic design model. So he is Robert Diamond. He originally developed the systematic design model in the early 1960s. The model has two basic phases. We have number 1, project selection and design. Number 2, we have production, implementation, and evaluation. So in these phases, we will know more about it, and I will show to you the concept or the process by the figures I've prepared. So next will be, he explained that ideally some action must precede others and certain decisions should not be made until all relevant facts are known. It is imperative that all data must be complete before proceeding to the next step. So in this curriculum, some others curriculum, it also undergoes process. So it's not just take for a couple of process, but it is being filtered or in a way of really selecting the best or the appropriate design for the curriculum and the instructional materials needed for it to be implemented. So this is the phase 1. So project selection and design. So as you can see, there are process. So in phase 1, we have this project selection, establishing needs and ensuring success. So this will be the basis for the selection. And then we have this basic planning inputs or project specific. So it specifies the field of knowledge, student knowledge, attitudes and priorities, societal needs, research and educational priorities that is under the ideal sequence. And the next is the project specific factors, curriculum projects, accreditation requirements, credit restrictions, physical and staff constraints, effectiveness. So it entails the inputs, especially in the school, who implemented this type of curriculum. So the course projects, so we have these goals, time, so this will be the availability of time, especially to the teachers and faculties, resources, student factors such as their learning styles, related research, grading and scheduling option that is under 2, operational sequence. So we have this phase 2. So the phase 2 is the last phase for the systematic design approach, which is the production, implementation, and procedures. So here we have the design and evaluation instruments and procedures. So it undergoes to the determining the objectives, then select instructional formats. So after the objectives, the formats, it could be a conference, meeting, or it could be in a form of face-to-face interaction, or it could be a video call, some type of instructional formats. Okay, evaluate and select existing materials. So we are weighing the materials that is existing materials. So we have to produce it. So in the field test, we can see the effectiveness of the materials, the instructional materials, the teaching styles, or the methods that can be used in implementing the curriculum. And after this one is coordinate logistic for implementation. So this will be aim for the approval, especially to the program, or it could be the program director or the one who will check or see the effectiveness for implementation of this type of model. Then the next one is implement, evaluate, and revise. So after this process, this will be the last, and it is implemented. It was specified, and if there are changes, so it could be revised. And it is a continuous process. So we have the design, evaluation, instrument, and procedures. So it runs through the process and back again. So, the systematic design model is prescriptive and rational. It presents a systematic and linear view of curriculum development. The use of diagram is an excellent way on helping curriculum workers to visualize in the entire curriculum development process, as shown in its first phase. Some curriculum influences and sources are also acknowledged in the process of curriculum development. These curriculum sources and influences are used to determine the objectives of the curriculum. The model relies heavily on data. Therefore, it is important to gather necessary information before proceeding to each of the process. So, in this definition of this design model, or this systematic design model, it is reasonable. So, there are research or concept that can be a way to fulfill the type of curriculum. So as shown in its first phase, some curriculum influences and sources are also acknowledged in the process of curriculum development. These curriculum sources and influences used to determine the objective use of the curriculum. The model relies heavily on data. Therefore, it is important to gather necessary information before proceeding to each of the processes. This curriculum practice allows research to influence curriculum processes and encourage a team approach to curriculum development. So, in this process, as you can see in the first phase, there are data that could support the selection and the design for the curriculum, which having an approach in dealing with the sources or influences, the objectives that would be present in the effectivity of the curriculum. Okay? The second phase of the model allows curriculum workers to design for the production and implementation of the curriculum in the importance of the evaluation of instructional materials to ensure the smooth implementation of the curriculum. The model involves a series of tasks which is, if carefully followed, may result in a relevant and effective curriculum. And then, similar to the weaknesses of linear models presented from the other report earlier, the model of diamond ends in phase 2. As I said, it is the last phase. It assumes that the product, which is the curriculum, is final and good as planned. There is no provision where curriculum workers can review their actions and decisions in relation to the factors identified in the first phase. Okay, probably the data gathered were assumed to support the curriculum and are sufficient to ensure the curriculum is relevant and effective. Evaluation and revision are only done in phase 2, but this in the level of instruction or the implemented curriculum. So the model, if applied in the Philippines, will probably be difficult because of the lack of research culture in our education's institution. So, in implementing this systematic design model, it is impossible today because of, like it stated, the lack of researchers. So, in this type of model, it aims for the research, and there are theories or concepts that must be presented in order to know the strength, the weaknesses, in terms of the learning styles and instructional strategies for the teacher in order to have a better or good achievement when it comes to education. Okay, having a research culture among faculty members can improve way higher education curricula are led. So, the the systematic design model focused on the higher education curricula. So the result of the research can serve as basis for developing curricula and proposing necessary changes in the curriculum. So these authors stated considered curriculum development as a decision-making process, emphasizing for faculty members to conduct researches as a basis for making curricular decisions. So in this model, it really makes sense of having a process basis to really have a good selection and design for the curriculum.